And the Texans are pushing back, letting y'all know that your Juneteenth celebrations are totally off code. Coming from New York City, I've been saying it for the longest, going back to 2 years ago. I called it. I said, the colors are wrong. You can't have Juneteenth without blue, white, and red. Because it's a reflection of America. And the enslaved blacks who in Texas didn't get the notification that they were free until 3 years later. Even after the Civil War ended. They didn't find out until Juneteenth. His Juneteenth. And the colors that they celebrated, they use red, white, and blue, but they call like blue, white, and red. But the whole thing is that it's not a Pan-Africanist holiday. And this is the problem that many people who have been celebrating Juneteenth since they were kids, since they were babies, You have 7 generations of people that celebrate Juneteenth coming from Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, California, Nevada, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, all those places, Kansas, Oklahoma. They've been celebrating this for years. People in the Northeast who are new to this holiday, what they're doing, it might be subconsciously, or it can be just, like outright doing so. They're using the red, black, and green colors, which is not even the Pan-African colors, actually. It's actually the UNIA flag colors. They're using the flag that Marcus Garvey created, okay? And I have a problem with that. I'm going to explain to you why. The RBG flag was a representation of the UNIA flag. Yes, it did become part of the symbol of Pan-Africanism, but the Pan-African colors were actually red, green, and gold. Or gold, green, and red. Gold, green, and red. Because Pan-Africanism was a concept that was created in the 1850s, believe it or not. And I found that out a couple of years ago. But the colors that he chose, and instead of choosing blue, he chose green. And Marcus Garvey chose the green to basically represent the fight that the Irish were having against Great Britain. And they were basically trying to be free. So he was very much influenced by the Irish Revolution. Okay? Now, here's the problem that many people have. What does that have to do with black people? That's what a lot of people was upset over. And this is not a dig against any group. I want to make that clear. There's not a dig against the Irish. It's not even a dig against Marcus Garvey. It's not even a dig really about Pan-Africanism. But what it's a dig about is if you're going to make this holiday national, you just can't say, well, the colors used to be red, white, and blue, or blue, white, and red. Now they're going to be red, black, green, and gold. If that's the case, then don't celebrate Juneteenth. If you can't use the blue, white, and red flag, then what's the point of having it? Because it's not a Pan-Africanist holiday. It has nothing to do with Africa. It has everything to do with America. Black Americans, foundational black Americans at that, ADOS at that. And it has to do with emancipation. Okay? It has nothing to do with Pan-Africanism. And I'm reading people's complaints, and there are people that are organizing events, and they don't even have the proper colors for Juneteenth, number one. And they don't even have people who are like foundational black Americans, number two, people from Texas, number three. In actual Texas, they got people They got a band from Colombia coming to perform at Juneteenth. An Afro-Colombian band performing at Juneteenth. But y'all couldn't find an FBA band to perform. This is what's got everybody riled up. And this is why there are a lot of people who feel that if they could basically go back a couple of years ago, they would have never even made this holiday national. But I'm going to say something. I'm going to tell you what the real problem with Juneteenth is. The problem with Juneteenth, and the reason why it came out this way, is because this holiday started to be celebrated openly during the pandemic, one, and during the whole George Floyd murder, number two, and three, when all of Black Lives Matter was having a protest. Because all this was like from late May with the whole George Floyd thing 2 years ago up until throughout June. So because people were at home and they were either bored or angry or both, there was nothing else to do. So people took to the streets. And because you had a lot of people from like the West Coast and like the Deep South already celebrating Juneteenth, you're seeing all of these, Twitter feeds like, oh, Juneteenth is coming up, don't forget to celebrate. So you had people who didn't know, they would learn about it, so they took to the streets themselves. But up this way in the Northeast, you start seeing people celebrating it, but they using the RBG flag. And then the gold background, and then the fist and whatever, which I'm all for the fist. Because see, I like the fist. I ain't going front about that. But the thing is that it came out of chaos. And then they was going to take down all the monuments of suspected white supremacists. And it didn't come about with love. And this holiday has been advocated upon to be national since I was about 9 years old. But it didn't come about the right way. It came through chaos. So that's why it's not really making sense. It's not really gelling right, if you ask me. And this is a holiday that was made to be national to basically, believe it or not, because I've done my research, you have people who hate America so much, that they will do anything to destroy it. And they'll take something really good and pure, such as Juneteenth, and put it at the forefront to push their agenda. Like if you notice, the past 2-3 years, they haven't really promoted 4th of July. You can't have, believe it or not, can't have Juneteenth without 4th of July. I know it sounds controversial, but that's because 4th of July was when America declared independence, signed by Thomas Jefferson. And that was from getting independence from Great Britain. So with Juneteenth, it's our holiday and it should be national. But I have issues with it too, because my thing is this. Everybody gets a free holiday and get paid from this holiday. A slave owner's descendants can get paid and have the day off from Juneteenth. That's jacked up. So this is why the whole thing, how it came about, it's very chaotic. And I believe there's going to be a lot of pushback this year, particularly from people from Texas and California. And I believe that it's going to get real nasty before it gets peaceful. And I know that I'm a New Yorker. I know a lot of people want to come at me. People I know is going to come at me. I know, and I love y'all, whoever it is. I'm saying that in advance. But this is just my take on it. Now, I will say this. If you personally really feel in your heart genuinely, like, hey, you want to carry the RBG flag because that's how you sense liberation, then personally, I don't have a problem with it. I'm going to be honest with you. But if you are trying to erase the traditional flag and the colors to put that as the Juneteenth colors and flag, that's my real big beef. That's my big beef with that. But if it's a personal thing, it's whatever. Because, hey, people have their own views and opinions about stuff. It is what it is. But the colors are blue, white, and red. And that's my take on it, this topic. Let me know your thoughts and opinions And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. It's growing. Hit the notification bell to get the upload. YouTube is basically suppressing the views. Share, comment, like, and I'll talk to y'all later. Take care. I know people are going to be real mad at me for what I had to say. This is going to be a controversial upload. But it is what it is.